everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 24 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best free 92 overall Super Bowl pass heroes to add to your MUT 24 squad. So let's start the video. Before we go over the players on how you're going to earn this free fantasy pack, pretty straightforward. You're going to find them in these Super Bowl pass solos, and it's not crazy to think that the same thing's going to happen next week, a week from today, when Super Bowl present comes out. So you could have another free 92 overall on the way, but for now you're only going to have to choose from the past players. So if you go into the solos, you can achieve this now. You can earn all the milestone stars. So once you max it out, 54 stars, you're going to earn a 92 overall Super Bowl pass fantasy pack. We're going to go over the players. Some of the other rewards within these solo challenges are going to be XP from the field pass, or for the field pass, which gives you a lot of free rewards, including the lighted up tokens, which you need to give discounted and 0 AP abilities to the 95 overall champion. So you kind of have to play the solos if you want that token. You might as well knock them all out and get the free 92 overall. You also get upgrade tokens, which actually is going to be very important because these tokens, you're going to earn 2 of them from solos. The others are going to come from that field pass, but these tokens can take the welcome pack players that you receive, Chuck Howley and Hines Ward, and you can take one of those 2 players and upgrade them to a 93 overall for free with those tokens. And it's also important to mention that before we get into the players, I'm going to start with a player out of these 92 pass Super Bowl cards that you should not take. And that one, surprisingly enough, is going to be an Eagle player in Miles Sanders. And the reason I say that is because if we go into the Super Bowl field pass, I just talked about those upgrade tokens. You get them for Howley, you get them for Hines Ward early on. But if you take a look at part 2, which is going to be next week, a week from today, we have Super Bowl present MVP tokens at level 12 and at level 16. And it looks like to me on the left-hand side, that's Christian McCaffrey. So unless you need Miles Sanders for a Panthers or Eagles team, do not waste your free pick on that card, because you're going to get a free 93 overall CMC next week. So let's go over the players that you should be selecting out of this pack. Very minimal positional groups to choose from. Unfortunately, we're going to start with a wide receiver in Van Jefferson. Not a bad card. These are going to max out at 94 speed, and sadly there's no Super Bowl strategy item that's going to be able to bump them up temporarily at all, but this card still isn't terrible. I mean, I think 94 speed is still very usable. 2 of the 3 receivers I have on my No Money Spent squad are at 94 speed, and they still get the job done. So Van Jefferson, 6'2", 94 speed, only 88 catch and catch in traffic, but I do like the route running, 94 short, 92 mid, 90 deep. The bad thing about all of these cards is they're not going to get any 0 AP or discounted abilities, and that's likely going to be the case with hero cards from now all the way until the end of MUT, and that's how it's been all year. But we're starting to see some of these cards be able to unlock via their attributes and of course their archetype, able to unlock the standard cost on good abilities. So for Van Jefferson, if you want to use any of your AP on him, he can get either slot apprentice or wide receiver apprentice, slot apprentice or outside apprentice for 2 AP. Slot apprentice is way better, especially if you are struggling against man coverage. It gives you those post routes and those corner routes. And speaking of man coverage, if you play that a lot, L'Jarius Sneed, who certainly got snubbed with this card, he should get a 95 overall or maybe even a 96 LTD next week for the Super Bowl present portion of this promo, though it would make no sense to give him 2 cards in 2 weeks, but you never know with EA. Anyway, this card isn't terrible, but I would only pick it up if you run man coverage like 85% of the time. 94 speed, 6 foot even, 91 jumping, 92 man. His zone is kind of low at 87. He's got good acceleration and press, agility a little bit low at 88, but his abilities, unfortunately, he doesn't get pick artist, which is a shame here, but his abilities are going to favor if you run a lot of man coverage. That's why he's a man-to-man archetype, and I think for 3 AP it's a bit expensive, so I would just leave him ability-less, if that makes sense. But if you want to use it, he does get medium route KO for 3 AP, so anytime when he's in man coverage between 10 and 20 yards in the air, he's going to get those knockout animations. If you run a lot more zone, you're going to want to go with Josh Norman, who is -1 in speed and -2 inches in height, but he's a little bit more well-rounded because he's going to give you the 90 man and 92 zone, really good acceleration as well, which could make up for that -1 in speed, so that's something to keep in mind. Unfortunately with him, agility, press, play rec, all a bit low, so don't press this card. Strictly and only I would use him in a zone coverage scheme. You know, maybe occasionally you can throw him into man coverage, but just one more time, do not press him. He does have a decent set of abilities, so if you want to play him as like a 3rd or 4th cornerback and you do run a lot of a zone, he gets flat zone KO for 2 AP, so that would be really good against, you know, like quick table routes by running backs, zig routes or flat routes that your opponent may run from a slot receiver. That flat zone KO for 2 AP might get those animations and knock the ball out. The last two cards are going to be at similar positions as well, and they're going to be budget user cards. The first one is Devin White, 92 overall middle linebacker with 94 speed. Pretty funny, this card as a linebacker is just as fast as Van Jefferson and L'Jarius Sneed as skill position players. Devin White, 6 foot even, 94 speed, 93 acceleration, 90 block shed, 94 hit power, 89 tackle. So he's actually not going to be too bad against the run either. He has the pass coverage archetype, and one thing you can't see on the screen is his man coverage. So zone coverage is only 78, but he actually has 90 man coverage. That's really good for a middle linebacker. Now, I know a lot of you, the majority of you, are probably using that free Ray Lewis from the Season 4 Field Pass at middle linebacker, but if you want to get a second MLB in there and you want one that's going to be reliable in pass coverage, especially in man coverage, I really like that 90 man with the speed and the acceleration on this card, and he does get Lurk Artist for 1 AP. So out of all of the cards, I would say this is probably going to be my favorite. Now, Logan Wilson, on the other hand, is going to be the same type of player, but he's going to excel more so in zone coverage, and you can't see that on your screen either. This card only gives you 91 speed, so he's definitely a lot slower, 90 acceleration, 93 tackles, really good, but block shed, power move, finesse move, not good at all. Play rec is decent for an outside linebacker. He too can get Lurk Artist for 1 AP, but the one attribute you can't see on your screen here is that he has 91 zone coverage. So if you're looking for a linebacker, a stand-up linebacker, not one that's going to rush the pass or be reliable in stopping the run, but one that's going to be out in pass coverage a lot, usually you're going to want to let the AI control this card. He is 6'2", but he's a little bit slower there, so he's not ideal for a user, but the 91 zone can come in clutch, that with Lurk Artist. I know a lot of people are out there running 6'1" defense. He would be a great budget option to be on either end of that 6'1" defense to drop back in coverage or play the flats there with that Lurk Artist and the 6'2" height. And there you have it. Those are the best cards. Disappointing that there's no offensive linemen or like defensive tackles, left ends, right ends. This would be a great pack normally to build those non-skill position players, but it just definitely lacks a bunch of those. I think Devin White is probably the best choice unless you need one of the other cards or you need to fill a position over one of those other cards we mentioned. Let me know who you guys pick down below in the comment section, and thank you for watching. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.